Baseball is a sport that's built on tradition, and this can be a good and bad thing. For example, it's a large portion of the reason that hitting guys intentionally is still considered acceptable. However, I think we just found the rare circumstance where I personally more so agree with the traditionalists. An all-star selection that, while it might be fun, kind of spits in the face of more deserving players. I'm talking about Jacob Misiorowski getting selected for the game after making just 5 career starts. The situation arose yesterday when Matt Boyd stated that he was going to take his currently scheduled start against the Yankees, making him essentially ineligible for the contest. So, Major League Baseball went to work replacing him on the NL's active roster. However, instead of deciding to go with a pitcher who had thrown even 50 innings this year, they decided to select Brewers rookie Misiorowski, a move that has been met with some pretty frustrated reactions in the baseball space as a whole. The thing is, I don't think any one of these pundits' takes means nearly as much as what's said by the actual players on one of the teams who arguably had their representative slighted, being the Phillies with Christopher Sanchez. Before I get into what they had to say, I want to acknowledge that Ranger Suarez actually said himself that he received an invitation but declined in an effort to get ready for the second half of the season, so anybody who's frustrated with him being excluded doesn't really have a leg to stand on. However, the same cannot be said of Sanchez, who apparently himself was frustrated with the lack of an invite according to Matt Gelb on Twitter, who said, quote, "Sanchez, who made the team last year, loses more than the honor of being a 2-time All-Star. He has a lucrative bonus in his contract for making an All-Star team." But this was nothing in comparison to what the Phillies players themselves had to say, including Trey Turner, who said, "What a joke. That's effing terrible. I mean, that's terrible, dude." JT Realmuto agreed, adding that he had nothing against Misiorowski, but he did feel his pitcher deserved it more. Nick Castellanos perhaps had the most succinct reaction. "It's turning into the Savannah Bananas." Again, most of the time I find myself at odds with people who try to defend the game's historical honor. Baseball is an ever-evolving sport, and we shouldn't hold the sanctity of the game in such high regard that it prevents much-needed changes from taking place. However, there's just no other way to put it. Selecting a guy for the All-Star game who has 25 career innings when there are multiple other options besides even the Phillies guys that could have made it is just downright disrespectful to MLB players as a whole, really. I mean, Paul Skeens had the lowest amount of appearances before this, and even he had 11 starts, more than double what Misiorowski registered. To echo Realmuto's sentiment, this is in no way meant to disparage Jacob or what he's managed to accomplish. It's objectively impressive, and I do think we'll end up seeing him in this contest more than a few times going forward. But I'm not a fan of this move, and I think it's more than a little strange. Now, thank you so much for watching, and please remember that if you ever see anything you'd like to see detailed in the Made the Cut video, whether that be a specific play, player, or narrative surrounding a team or something, feel free to reach out to my email, basebeatpoet@gmail.com, and if I do end up using your idea, I'll of course give you a shout out. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you in the next one.